What's up?
Oh, hello there.
Tyler Keith, plugged on. Here with an album review. We're going to talk about Anesthetic, which is the debut solo album from Mark Morton, one of the guitar players of Lamb of God.
He's the one with all the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the other one had hair, and then he cut it.
Now he wears like a baseball cap.
Yeah. It's fine.
But it's fine. Good. Yeah, he does.
But Mark Morton, he's kind of the lead guitar player in Lamb of God. He's the one doing a lot of the solo work and all that. So when they announced that he's doing a solo album, I'm like, that's kind of weird. That's a weird choice, sort of thing. But actually, a lot of the collaborations he ended up getting, I think most of it ends up paying off and is really exciting.
Yeah.
He released a few tracks at a time. One of them, biggest one being Cross Off with Chester Bennington, which I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But what'd you think?
I actually really like this album. I think that the album as like a whole works because there's almost two different styles on the album. Because you can almost kind of tell that in certain songs there's a lot more of like a Lamb of God style to it. Like especially like The Never, which has like Chuck Billy and Jake Oney on it. So like those are more metal people involved in that song, whereas like Save Defiance sounds a little bit more like something I could see Miles Kennedy doing with and that's sort of like the two things, but it works really, really well on like the whole album. I mean, Sworn Apart I actually really like that song with Jacoby Shaddix, dude from Papa Roach. I should really like that song. Like it's but that one kind of messes with that formula a little bit. It has a little bit more of the Lamb of God-esque style. I think the only real songs that I wasn't too big on were Blur and Back from the Dead. Those are like the only two in the middle. I mean, and it's not just that Back from the Dead has the dude from Buck Cherry. It's not it. I mean, it's just a weird song. Like it's just, especially the vocals in the verse. That's the main thing that I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But like I said, Save Defiance is really good. I really like. I guess it's him singing in Imaginary Days because there's nobody else listed here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume that Mark Morton's really good at singing.
Yeah. If that is him, yes.
Like
very good.
Like I know Randy Blythe. They've been doing that with Lamb of God, but maybe get him to do some stuff. I don't know. That's an idea. The only other gripe, and it's such a minor one, is that they should have the first and last track flipped. The Truth Is Dead with Randy Blythe and Alyssa Whiteclothes, which was like the first single they put out, should have been the first track, and then Cross Off with Chester Bennington should have been the last track. It just fits. It just fits better, and because it's sort of weird for Cross Off to start the album. It just feels weird, and then also it's a little jarring going from Imaginary Days to The Truth Is Dead. So that's just like a minor complaint.
And also with the way The Truth Is Dead starts,
it's like that's what I mean.
It would have been perfect to start
for start of the album. But I mean, I don't. Again, besides those two, I like all the collaborations. Axis. Axis is another weird one. It's got the dude from Screaming Trees, but it works because again, it's a little more of like a rock-esque song, or like a hard rock-esque song, and so I like that. But like a lot of the guitar work and like the leads and whatnot, like in Sworn Apart's another good example of that. There's some, of course, again, the dude who's the lead guitarist of Lamb of God, you'd expect there to be some gnarly stuff going on throughout the whole thing, and it's good. I should have brought this up. I guess, did he do everything for the album, or did he bring in guests to do like the drums and the bass? And that's a good question.
That's a great question.
I'll look when I give you the reins. I'll look that up so I can figure that out. But yeah, I think again, I was a little like, okay, Mark Morton's putting out an album. This is weird. It's not like and even with the songs they were putting out, because like Marty Friedman put out an album, which it's mostly just like a lot of him. Just that's why it's his solo thing. Like he put out what was the song? Inferno was the first song he put out, but it's like him soloing over stuff. I'm like, this makes sense. Whereas I'm like, it's weird, but I think it works very, very well. I really enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome when musicians do this sort of stuff of just doing a solo album, but do things that are totally different than what you're actually doing in maybe your main band. And this is a great example of that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here that definitely wouldn't be a Lamb of God song, and some things I could see, but for the most part, it's a lot of different stuff, and I think it's good for someone like Mark Morton to stretch their wings, because who knows, maybe some of the stuff could make it in the Lamb of God in some weird way. But I think this album is pretty solid for the most part. I agree with you. Blur and Back from the Dead, and actually Reveal. I'm not a big fan of Reveal. It's kind of it's a different track. I get that. People might dig that one. It doesn't do anything for me. Back from the Dead is such a weird song. Like,
it's like
Josh Todd, he's an interesting vocalist and dude. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be interesting.
And it was.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, not a knock against Buck Cherry, but Buck Cherry's definitely an acquired taste, I think. But whatever.
Really quickly, there's a lot of different people who provided the instruments. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Paolo Gregoletto. Want to do some Trivium? He does bass for one of the songs. David Ellefson does both The Never and The Truth Is Dead.
That's awesome.
A couple other people. Mike Inez does bass for 4 songs. No, 5 songs.
Alice in Chains.
Like
Alex Bent, the Trivium drummer.
That's
pretty awesome.
So, Mike, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through because, my God, there's a lot of even more guest appearances. But
that's awesome. Most of the songs here are really good. I mean, The Truth Is Dead is a great track, and what I love about it is just hearing Alyssa sing. I mean, she has an incredible voice that doesn't get used at all in Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be doing a solo album stuff, and that's cool, but fuck, Arch Enemy should start using her voice a little bit more. I know it's not...
Just grow as a band, man.
Yeah. Like, throw it in as something to spice it up. I
guess they did on one song on their last album.
Her voice is great. But when that song came out, and I saw that Randy was on there, and I'm sure Randy, obviously they're good friends. They've been in the band forever. But
yeah.
I was like, man, I hear him with Lamb of God. I don't need to hear him on here. That was just kind of my thought. The whole song is good, and he's good on it too. But I'm just glad there's a lot of different stuff on there. Save Defiance with Miles Kennedy, I could totally sing if being an Alter Bridge song.
Yeah.
And he's got a great voice. That dude can sing in any band, and it's awesome. Stuff he does with Slash is cool. Alter Bridge is cool. His solo stuff's cool. Yeah. It's like, he's a fantastic singer. Sworn Apart is the best thing I've heard somebody from Papa Roach do in a long time.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. My parents just saw Papa Roach last night.
Ooh.
With Shine Down and Asking Alexandria and Hershey. They dig that stuff. But
sure, more power.
It is a good song for sure. I think Crossed Off is probably my favorite song on here because that song just jams. I mean, the riffs are fantastic, and Chester is awesome on this song. I mean, I think it's so cool to hear Chester Bennington on more of a maybe traditional metal song.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Linkin Park wasn't metal. They definitely were, but they were their own genre of it, their own style. What could this album have looked like in a different world where maybe it's a collaborative album where Chester and Mark do the whole fucking thing? That would have been rad. It's a really great song, and it's just great to hear Chester, and it, putting out something that he recorded.
Yeah.
Before he passed away. So that's just, it's such a great song to listen to, and it jams. I mean, it's super catchy. The riffs are great. There's some Lamb of God touches on this, especially during the verses. He does the weird ass, like, kind of. I don't even know. It's Lamb of God's own style. When you hear it and the way he finishes the riffs. That's what I want to say. Like, the way he finishes the riffs are very Lamb of God and how they do that. But Chuck Billy on the Never is really good. Mark Lanigan's really great. I mean, the whole thing is neat, and I hope Mark Morton does another one because why not?
Yeah, it's cool. Good stuff. Yeah,
and he's going out on tour with this album. I forget if he did announce the whole live band that he has to perform all these songs, but it's him and Light the Torch.
Oh, okay.
So Go catch him live. Then you could also see Mark Morton on tour with Lamb of God and Slayer forever because that's all they do.
Those two bands just tour together all the time.
I think Lamb of God has been on every single leg of Slayer's tour almost.
I mean, good for them.
They did the Europe tour. They did both of the states, and now they're doing the next run in the states.
I mean,
it's
good
awesome.
for them.
And like they said, when Slayer gives you a call and say, "Hey, do you want to come on tour for us for a final tour?" You don't say no.
No.
So, yeah, it's cool. Check it out. Scores
8.5.
Yeah, it's good.
Real good.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you.